And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called Fire from friendliest. Now when I first saw this, I thought it was one of the fast-forward games because the box looks just like the other fast-forward games, which are games that you learn to play as you go and they add more and more rules. This is not that way. This is a Fable game, which is similar to a fast-forward game in which you add more rules. It's a confusing delineation, honestly. But this game is essentially Space Invaders, the card game. I mean, it's definitely, that's the theme of it. You have these spaceships, you're shooting at aliens that are dropping towards you. Okay? That's how this game works. It's a puzzle game. It's for 1 or 2 players, although honestly, it's really a solo game that they added, I feel, like had extra rules where you could play 2 players, but you're then just playing a solo game where you're kind of talking back and forth as you try to beat the aliens. Here's how it plays. The game is going to take place over 9 different levels, and so you'll see this is the 10%, and when you play the 10%, you'll take all the cards, which is a good chunk of the deck, but that's because you'll use a lot of this stuff, and then in 20% we'll add some stuff, etc. So you can play the game solo or with a teammate. Teammate is very similar to solo, but for once I'm going to explain to play the game without the teammate stuff. So all these orange cards, that's teammate stuff, so we're going to remove those. When you play a level, you'll turn this card over and it will show you the aliens for that level. And then I'm going to place those aliens that come out on the table like they're shown there. There's a green number on them, and you're going to place that green number facing you. So here I have the different aliens here. They're all attacking me. And then I'm going to put out my 3 spaceships facing the aliens like this. And in a solo game, you would only have 2 alien spaceships and so on and so forth. But again, we're just talking solo. So I then get a pile of battery cards. I have 1s, 2s, a few 3s, 2 4s, and a 5, and I'm going to shuffle them. In a team game, you would have fewer cards because you and your teammate are both fighting the aliens. Okay, so the way the game works is pretty simple. On your turn, you're going to draw a card, look at it, here's a 4, and you're going to add it to one of these spaceships. So maybe I'll add it there. And then I draw 2, I'm going to add it to the same one for a total of 6. A 2, I'm going to add it to the same one for a total of 8. A 1, I'm going to add it to the same one for a total of 9. I'm going to add this one to a different spaceship, and I'll show you why in a second. I'll add this 2 to a different spaceship. I'll add this 2 to a different spaceship. So that spaceship's up to a total of 5. Now that one's up to an 8. I drew a 4. I'm going to put this at the first one here. I drew a 1. I'll put that at the first one. I drew a 3. Where's my 5? That's what I'm looking for. 7, 8, 9. Another 3. All right, so here I'm going to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 8. So I'm going to do a very bad shot here, but I'm just going to show you how it works. So the way this works is I'm going over 10 at this point. So 4, 7, 8 plus 4 is 12. So we've gone over 10. Whenever you go over 10, you fire a shot. So I've done 10. I've done 12 here, so I'll do 12 minus 10, so I'm left with 2, and then multiply that by the crosshairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crosshairs. 5 times 2 is 10 damage. I'm doing 10 damage to the aliens. So I have to pick. Well, these are all 12. I can't even touch them, but I can hit this one for 8. I have 2 damage left over, but that's not enough to rotate it again. But at least I rotated one of the aliens. I then have to take one of these cards and discard it from the game. I'll get rid of the 1s, and the rest of these will go to a discard pile. I now draw, and I put a 1 over here. And then I draw my 5. It was the last one. And I'll put it on my first gun. That one now goes over 10. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. So we're 4 over. 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we've done 20 damage. Now here's the problem that I have. I could hit this one for 12, leaving me with 9. That's 21 damage. Or I could hit this one for 6, 4, and 2. I could totally destroy the middle alien. I think I'll do that. That's 12. That's the same as the other ones. Doesn't really matter. You know what? I think I'll knock one of these down to 9. 20 damage is not the right number. And again, I have to discard one of these. So I'll get rid of the 1 at this point. Now, ones are not always the best thing to get rid of. That might seem the most obvious, but sometimes ones will help you get to your target number the right way. I'll then take all the discard cards, I'll shuffle them, and keep drawing. And this is how you're going to play the game. So you're trying to hopefully get to that exactly 10 and then play the 5, so maybe 15. So 15 minus 10 is 5, then you have maybe 6. So 5 times 6 would be 30, and then you can do a whole lot of damage. And you're going to keep going until you've destroyed all the aliens, or until you don't have enough cards to take any more shots. At that point, you've either lost or you've won. If you win, then you go to the next level. And so you'll just take the card for 20, turn it over. Oh, look, joy, adds more aliens. Also adds some 0 batteries, which are actually pretty handy because you can add them to something to make it get bigger. And then you go to level 3, which adds even more aliens, and then adds a special battery, a 4 battery, but if this one's used, you get extra 5 damage. And each of these will do different things and add more aliens and more kinds of batteries until you get to the final one. And if you can kill this master nasty thing, then you will win and get to 100%. The components for the game, very high quality cards, and they definitely have the 8-bit graphics down. It's definitely, maybe not Space Invaders, but definitely looks like Space Invaders as they come and get you. There's not a lot other than that. It's all about the numbers and how you place the batteries, not a lot of graphics, but it's fine. It's a deck of cards and fits easily into the box here. Okay, so Space Invaders theme here, like I said, it's there's the math there, right? And the Space Invaders theme is there, and I guess there's that pressure of, oh no, here they come. But this game uses a unique scoring mechanism in a sense that you're putting out these batteries and you're trying to go over 10. And when you go over 10, you subtract from 10 and multiply it times the number of crosshairs and then do that much damage. Plus, if you know, as the game goes by, this card does this. There's cards that half a crosshair. There's all kinds of weird cards that show up and add to your deck, and then there's more aliens. But essentially, it's a mathematical puzzle, with the randomness of the game being the order that the cards come up in. So you saw in that demo one I showed you, I would have preferred the 5s to come up a little bit earlier than it did, but it did not. And so I did other things instead. And I would have probably done better to have added a 1 to that pile, and then the 5 on top of the pile, which would have been 5 times 6 crosshairs, which would have been 30, in which case I would have done 12 damage to the alien, then 9 more, and then maybe even really blown it away, instead of the lousy shots that I did. That game that I started there, I probably would have lost. Now, I have checked out all the levels of the game. I have not beaten them. I think I've got to level 5 or 6, and this is playing solo. Then I just jumped ahead and played level 10 fully and just got massacred there too. The game is an interesting idea. It's very similar to a game I really like, Lost Cities, which there was, again, you go over 20, subtract the scoring. The problem with this game is it is literally math. And I don't mind it. Friedman Freese is a brilliant man, the designer of this game, puts math in all his games. I'm a big fan of math. But there comes a point where I feel like it's too much. So here I'm sitting there going, okay, and you saw the base level. So as you get to higher levels, there's more aliens there, so you're saying, okay, I'm going to do this. If I do this, I'll get 17 damage, which does 7, and then 3. Or if I can do this, I do 18, which I can do this and this. And it just felt very joyless after a while. I was like, man, I am just consistently adding and subtracting numbers over and over and over and over and over again. And that's not what Space Invaders is. Space Invaders is just quickly shooting as fast as you can and hitting the aliens. Now, I get that you can't replicate that in a board game, and that's fine, but I'm not opposed to solo games at all, but this one itself, and I tried the 2-player thing. Like I said, I feel like it's just a solo game with 2 players, because then you just sit there and tell each other what cards to play where. You have cards where you can divert one of your battery cards to the other person's ship. Fine, but that doesn't change how I feel about the game. I just felt like I was doing homework the whole time. If I do this, this is the shot I'm going to do. Where's the best place to put this shot? Let's hope this number comes up next. And I guess I was told that no matter what order the cards are in, you can win a scenario, and that's probably true. But I still feel like sometimes you have to hedge your bets and put a card on this ship, hoping that another card comes up next. And also, I would say that the difference, when I showed you level 1, when you get to level 10, there's a lot more aliens, a few special cards, but that's essentially it. It's not like the game dramatically changes, so this whole Fable thing, it's more like a few variants in it. Not every game's going to be a winner for me in this regard. I've really liked the Fast Forward series. I like the Fable series of games. This one, though, in particular, Fire, I just found the soul part doesn't bother me. The fact that it's just a humongous series of endless math problems, that I found less interesting. Dice Tower Judgment, too much math, not enough spaceships.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.